Let's bring into the conversation retired IDF Colonel Miri, currently the director of the International Institute for Counterterrorism at Reichman University, who has been listening in. Miri, give us your thoughts this morning, and I want to get you to touch on a precedent here being set, that if there is whatever you want to call it, I mean, a ceasefire, a truce, a pause in hostility, a humanitarian break, whatever, if there is some kind of end to active military campaign, the destruction of Hamas targets, for however brief a period, does that not set a precedent that could be extended and extended again?
Jeff, let's be clear. Everything is unprecedented. So everything that you do now is making a precedent. It is unprecedented to attack a country, take hundreds of civilians hostages, take babies, grandparents. It's unprecedented. So the negotiation is unprecedented. Everything here has to do with that. Look at even the discussion, the wonderful discussion you just had with Kalev and with Ariel, because as I was listening to you, I was thinking, look at how we in Israel, we're talking about women and children for women and children. Can we be clear? The women in Israeli jails are terrorists who were put on trial, who were arrested, who were given time periods inside, some of them, I imagine, with blood on their hands, where they chose to do those things. They were arrested, found, and children in that sense. It's been a point of contention forever. And again, these are minors. When I say children, and my heart goes out to children who have been put on trial, and children are put on trial too. And as I say, we can't do the women and children for women and children. I don't like that equation. When we talk right now about the dilemma, everything is going to be unprecedented. So when we have one live soldier and we give 1,129 Hamas terrorists for him in 2011, this doesn't mean that was the wrong decision then. It was unprecedented. And now it's unprecedented. And the dilemma in that sense is, how much can you push Hamas in the meantime? Israel has constantly said the most important thing are two things, not one or the other. Hostages, the hostages, the hostages, but at the exact same time, to get the hostages and to make sure that we can all live here in the state of Israel safely. We need, and here Kalev put the point there, we need Hamas to be releasing hostages because of our pressure and not because they gained something from their having from the beginning done such an unprecedented attack. There is no easy way out of it. This is not a happy situation, but you have to keep the pressure on together with getting your hostages. There's no question that Hamas would like to have this not just as a ceasefire and as a pause, but that's part of their negotiations, which means that we're going to continue the pressure. How you do that? Man, we're in such an unprecedented arena. I don't know how you do that. Here we are. We're trying. It's trial and error at this stage.
Miri, can you give us your thoughts from a counterterrorism perspective here, as you give your analysis of Hamas as a terror organization, still nevertheless having a militant wing, and the Politburo, the political wing, largely based in Qatar. We are now, for the first time in almost 7 weeks, the Red Cross finally being able to meet with Hamas leadership, not in Gaza, but in Qatar. We're hearing more messages from the Politburo, as we just heard Ariel give a new update from Hamas leadership in Qatar. The Qatari wing of Hamas speaking out about a hostage deal, speaking out to the Red Cross for the first time. What do you make of that, and how that distinction between the locations of Hamas as the fight goes on?
So Hamas has always had two different portions within it: the military terror army, which is the one that attacked us, not a single attack on October 7th, but as part of the campaign, and the political leadership that call both of them for the same aim. It's a question of how you got there. They want the annihilation of the state of Israel. And the political bureau will probably say it can take a long time and we can do it in stages. And the military said October 7th, we're going to attack and take apart Israel. They both have the same aim. Let's not be, like Jeff, it isn't that the political guys are nice and easier and the military guys are harsher. I won't do that distinction. Having said that, most of the Gaza Strip, and certainly over the last 16 years as Hamas ruled over the Gaza Strip, has a large portion of people who can support Hamas. That doesn't mean that they're part of the military wing. So in talking to those political figures, that you have no choice. You want to get your hostages back. This is part of the dilemma. And having done so, it doesn't mean that you stop the pressure, both on the military, but I want to be clear, also on the political. You can't do that distinct separation. When you look at the continuation, and I put that in people's minds that, at the end, there's 2.3 million people in the Gaza Strip. At some stage, this war that they inflicted on us, the Hamas, will be over. Somebody's going to have to run it. We talk about all sorts of Palestinians, but for example, that Hamas political part are the ones that are acceptable there. So we have to look at it very broadly. It's going to make our stomach hurt, but I don't believe any of them. And bottom line, they're a terror organization that call for our annihilation, and the military side wants to do it very, very, very violent, and the other one just wants to do it slower, but they have no problem with violence.
Miri, thank you so much for being with us and giving us your analysis here today.